Here we go. Another beautiful day from the stunning temple of Ombo, the double temple which was dedicated to two different gods. The crocodile-headed god Sobek and the falcon-headed god Horus, Horus the Elder. Okay, now I'm at the open court. We can see also like two entrances leading to the beautiful hypostyle hall. We can notice at the ceiling the remains of these lovely beautiful colors, as well as the style of the columns, composite capitals like papyrus, lotus, palms, different style of composite capitals. As well, you have to show or tell your guests to notice the difference of the colors, because this part was covered under the sand or silt of the Nile, which is kept it safe like that. As well, here are the astronomical ceiling. I guess here we have the image of Jeb, god of the earth, raising up the sign of the sky bit. So here we are back again to continue our story about this beautiful temple. One of the remarkable scenes here, like one of the master scenes, the coronation of the king here with 5 famous gods. Okay, behind the king, standing here, this goddess, the sky goddess, with the sun disk between 2 horns like cow, goddess Nut. Behind her was ibis head, god Thoth, god of writing and wisdom. And here is the king. In front of him, goddess Isis in the form of lioness, the aggressive goddess. Sekhmet, goddess of anger and war, is given him through the nostrils, the Ankh, the life itself. Behind Isis, her son, Horus, son of Osiris. And here, god of the temple, Horus, Horus the Elder. We can notice the beautiful details of the carving of the knee, like goddess Isis here embracing the king with one of the hands, as well from behind goddess Nut, the sky goddess. And so nice details for the hands here, like that, and all of them having the Ankh, symbol of life. Some people say about the Ankh, it's Egypt itself. That's why we find all of the kings having it in their hands, like they want to say we protect the country. The country is in safe hand, like that, because we can notice this is the Nile Delta here, eastern desert, western desert, like that. And the king having the croc and the flail, as well the Ankh, the royal signs. As well, like the other side, he was happy, smiling. As well, we can notice here the smile upon the face. Another notice here, another information here, another details, how we can know the difference between Horus, son of Isis, Horus the Elder. Horus, son of Isis, always wearing the double crown. Horus, Herwer, was the white crown of Upper Egypt. As well, from the details of the face, the facial features here looks young, here looks older. As well as the muscles, Horus, young, strong man, strong muscles on the 6 backs, like the belly, the knees. Horus the Elder, like there is a belly, not as strong like Horus, son of Isis. So this is like one of the beautiful details, beautiful scenes telling us about the art at that time. Okay, lovely details as well here, hand in hand, the sandals. So just like a quick or rush, I'm showing you like the master scenes. So from the outer side, I went to the second hypostyle hall. The main scene here, this one. The scene is starting from here, but missing this part, supposed to be like the king or the emperor, okay, getting out from the royal palace. After that, like the same priest burning the incense, and we can notice the difference. Always the king, like in big scale, the priest in like small size, small scale, like that. And here we have Webwawet, the opener of the road. And after getting out of the royal palace, like the king had to be ready for an important event at the time. The purification scene first here with Tot and Horus. They are purifying the body of the king with the holy water of Nile, takes the shape of Ankh and Was. So after purification came the coronation scene between Wajid and Nekhbet. One was white crown, one was red crown. They given him the double crown. As well the smile here. When you smile, your hands will be open when you are happy, like that. If you are like under stress or pressure, the fist will be closed. So nice details as well. So we saw the same one in front of Sobek, the crocodile god, here in front of Horus. Another interesting scene for Ptolemy VIII with his two wives, Cleopatra II, Cleopatra III. Later I tell you about this complicated story and about these bloody characters. Okay, he's receiving like the sword and the symbols of long years from Horus, like that. What we have as well here, the first vestibule. We have this famous goddess, Sishat, goddess of writing, wife of Tot, the one who was in charge to determine the place of the temple. Okay, here is like stretching the cord, putting the foundations of the temple. The best manifestation of the foundation scenes we can find at the temple of Edfu. So I have them here in my album. So if I don't have the visit of Edfu, I explain the foundations of the temple here, like stretching the cord, digging the ground, purifying the temple with natural salt, presenting like the bricks, the temple itself to its owner, to the main god. Look here at the dress of this goddess with like flowers, nice style. So we can say hence the fashion became source of inspiration for the whole world, like that. So this is the master scene here at the first vestibule. The second one, what's important at the second vestibule, this remarkable scene here. We call it the festival calendar. The festival calendar. As you don't know, ancient Egyptians divided the year into 3 seasons: Akhet, Beret, Shemu. Akhet, Beret, Shemu, flood season, planting and harvest season. Because of the groups, I'm going to give them a chance to explain. I'll explain it for you on my album. Hold on. So first you have to know about the numbers in ancient Egypt. We have the stroke means 1, so 1 stroke 1, 2 strokes 2, 3 3, like that. The horseshoe means 10. Coil drop means 100. The flower looks like lotus flower, like 1,000. The finger 10,000. Frog 100,000. The man raising up his hands, the sign Neh, means 1 million. So these are the numbers in ancient Egypt. So as we mentioned, the year was divided by ancient Egyptians to 3 seasons: flood, planting, harvest season. Each season used to have 4 months. Each month used to have 3 weeks. Each week used to have 10 days. So this is the division of the year in ancient Egypt. I mentioned, or I said, like 8 days, 10 days. We found like Ostraka telling us about the daily life of the workers. At Valley of the Kings, they used to work 8 days a week because the week used to have 10 days. So they used to have 2 days off. Okay, so this is the division of the month or the week in ancient Egypt. We have this sign, as you can see it, looks like sun disk or a circle. It means in hieroglyphic Heru. Heru means day. Okay, so for example, we have day 2, day 3, day 4, like that. We have something looks like the mouse here means month, and under it there's like a 3 strokes, so third month. And this sign Achet means a flood season. So for example, day 3 or day 2, day 4, third month, flood season, like that. Day, we have day 28 to 29, so as not to like repeat the strokes, he bought like a loaf of a bread is divided, or a half circle divided in the middle, like that, means day 29. And this sign, we call it Irqi, which means the end of the month. So this is like the festival calendar of Ombo temple. Like, to sum it up, the number of the offerings that had to be presented on special days to the main gods and goddesses of the temple. Okay, so like day 29, the king had to present the offering, we mentioned the item, to the main god, like that. Okay, this is like briefly the festival calendar at Ombo. The third vestibule, you have to show them this beautiful, stunning ceiling, okay, containing the vulture and the cobra, Wajid and Nakhbet, one with white crown, one with red crown, stretching their wings. Okay, was also the yellow stars with the blue color, like an imitation for the sky. Yeah. As well, we have a scene here that confusing the people. Some people say about it like this is the birth, but not the birth. We have the sign of Ankh missing, so read as Ankh, Nither, Nifer, Ba'ba', and we have the letter M, Khibit. So Ankh, Nither, Nifer, Ba'ba', M, Khibit. The good God who was born in the marshes of the delta, referring to Horus. So it's not the scene of birth. And the last part of the temple here, the sanctuary or Holy of Holies. 2 rooms, 2 sanctuaries, 2 Holy of Holies. We can see the remains of the base, the pedestal, black granite from Aswan quarries. One to the right for Horus, one to the left for Sobek, supposed to be a ceiling or room but collapsed. Okay, at this place in the ancient time, nobody was allowed to come here except 2 persons, the king and the high priest, to do the everyday rituals that used to be done every day, 3 times a day. Okay, and they mentioned like a kind of warning, the day you stop presenting the offerings, it's like a bad sign for the end of your reign or rule, or you will be cursed. That's why the high priestess took the advantage of that, and they were very rich people. Okay, we have a crypt here, another one here. They say that the high priest used to hide here, escaping here. Okay, imagine it's completely dark. Okay, completely dark, and you came here at like VIP rich man presenting the offerings. You have a desire, a wish, a complaint, you need a cure for one of the diseases, and you hear someone is talking to you. You think that the God is talking to you. You are gonna escape, flee, run away. That's why they call it like a cure by shock. We have a place like that at Luxor temple. Okay, so the high priestess took the advantage of that. So the high priestess played an important role in our civilization, like 4 rules. Before telling about their rules, look at like the classification of ancient Egyptian society. Like the pharaohs comes first, after that the nobles and the governmental officials, and the priests come second. Soldiers, scribes, merchants, craftsmen, and at the end the farmers and workers. So this is like classification for the ancient Egyptian society. So the high priestess played like 4 important rules. The first one, I call it religious rule, to do the everyday rituals here. The rituals take place at any Egyptian temple, supposed to be like a gilded wooden door here. Here are the remains. So the high priest had to come every day, like knock at the door to get the permission to go inside, sing a song to wake the statue of the god up, anointing the statue of the god, burning the incense, changing the clothes, giving new clothes. These rituals take place at any Egyptian temple 3 times a day. So this is the first rule, religious rule. Second rule, propaganda makers, like the legend they made about the division of the temple here, the 2 gods, Sobek and Horus, like they made propaganda for the place. As well, they did that before. You remember, once we visit the east and west bank of Luxor temple in the east bank, the builder of this temple, Amenophis III, grandfather of King Tut, his mother was a foreigner, was not Egyptian, Mutumwaya. So they invented a story about like the divine birth of the king, like the god Amun-Ra had chosen him to rule. As well, the propaganda for Queen Hatshepsut, as she was a woman in the beginning, people did not accept her easily. So they invented a story for her like political propaganda. So this is the second rule, propaganda makers. The third one, money makers. They used like to hide in this crypt, like a high priest given another one like orders standing there. Okay. So they used to take the offerings that all the people, the rich, the VIPs, the locals, the commoners presenting to the main god, they used to take advantage of these offerings. So money makers. The last one, troublemakers. If they did not love a king, they like asking people to make a revolution, and of course they ruled Egypt dynasty 22 by priestess. So they used to have a great influence in ancient Egyptian civilization. So again, what are the rules of the high priestess? Repeat with me. Yeah, religious rule, money makers, troublemakers, propaganda makers. And this information thanks to Prof. Mahmoud al-Tayyib. And here we have like 7 rooms. We call them like storage rooms for keeping the tools, the instruments, the valuables of the temple. Okay, and everywhere you show them also the technique, the dovetail. Okay, we have like 3 more stops, the surgical or medical instruments and the division of the temple, as many people say about that, as well over there the nilometer. Okay, hold on. So this is the surgical instruments down here. I'll explain it for you later or right now, given you have to give the chance to the guides, respect each other. So here we have the king like kneeling. Some said that may be Trajan, but no evidence for that. After that, like two people sitting, god and goddesses, Horus and Isis, with the throne above the head. And this is the surgical or medical instruments in front of Horus Herwer. And this tub, referring to the shares of the Nile flood to the Egyptian cities from south to north. Okay, I'll explain it in the album as well. You must have this album. So this is also a remarkable scene about the place. We can recognize the surgical instruments here, and these 2 persons, Isis with the throne above the head and Horus, not Nephthys, because of the facial features. Up there man, down there female, up with false beard, okay, with the beard. As well, from the breast of Isis, the man no breast, as well from the sign of Was, the scepter, for gods, and the sign of Waj for goddesses. So this is how you know the difference between the two gods. For the surgical or medical instruments, this place was used as a medical center for retreat, for healing, for cures, for some diseases. And some said that these instruments, like the instruments for the mummification of the crocodile, the main god of the temple. So we have here the two cupping vessels, case for instruments, scissor, like box of first aid, sponge, scalps, scale, the eye of Horus, referring to the full prescription for recipe, flasks, tooth, forceps, third register. We have the hooks, the needles, as well knife. Upper register we have the enema, and a tool looks like cautery, saw, a blade. So these are the instruments of mummification. This is one of the remarkable scenes. So ancient Egyptians were very advanced people at the field of medicine. Do you know that ancient Egyptians knew about the pregnancy test? How? The woman urinate above 2 bags filled with seeds of barley and wheat. If the one of barley germinate first, expecting a boy. The one with wheat, expecting a girl. If it does not germinate, no pregnancy. As well, they knew about contraception, how to prevent pregnancy. The woman used the shat of a crocodile, mix it with oils, honey, bottom it in specific places. Here we could find the scene inside the tomb of Ankh Mahur in Saqqara. As well, we have it at the temple of goddess Mut in Karnak. Circumcision in ancient Egypt. Look at the lovely details. Circumcision. As well, we have the oldest prosthetic, wooden too, the oldest surgery in the world, as well the oldest process of trace. So they were very advanced people. Here, come to this beautiful scene, like most beautiful offering here for birds, fruits, oils, bread, like that. Down there, the pottery or jars of oils, essence, papyrus and lotus. We have the first family of the temple, Horus Herwer, with his wife Tasset Nefret, the beautiful sister, and Horus the child Baneb Tawi. So this is the first triad here. The other side is supposed to be Sobek, the crocodile, with his wife goddess Hathor, and the moon god Khonsu Hur. Some people say about this scene maybe carved relief. Some said that like contra temple, like a place for the commoners, for the public to come here for worshipping, for presenting the offerings, and the 2 ears, the 2 eyes, like the god wanna say, I see you, I hear you. Okay, put the offerings and say your complaint, like that. And we have the 4 legendary animals, 4 gods of winds, with a statue for goddess Ma'at. Okay, some said that about this seed, this is the division of the temple between Horus here and Sobek, the crocodile god. Okay, and supposed to be a statue here for goddess of truth and justice Ma'at, with the feather above the head. She like wanna tell that I divided the temple between the 2 gods, and all people see that, all people hear about that. Okay, so you can call it contra temple or the division of the temple. Okay, this corridor to the right hand side taking you to the scene of the Bethlehem attacking the enemies or the captives. Okay, right now I'm taking you to the last stop, the Nilometer. So here is the Nilometer of the temple. Look how deep is it. So what is the function of the Nilometer, like that? they say to determine the level of water. High level of water, strong Nile flood, leads to high taxes. Low level of water, low taxes. So concerning the idea of taxes to determine the level of water, connected to another well for the daily needs of the temple. Here, look also how deep is it, with bats inside. So supposed to be like here, pipe or a drain, the oldest drain system in the world. The water coming out from this part to this side here. Okay, so this is the oldest drain system here, a place something like for filtration of the water, just here. Then to the basin here, the crocodile basin. Some said for the baby crocodiles because of the main god here of the temple, Sobek, the crocodile god, and some said that maybe this basin was used for the purification of the high priestess before doing the rituals. Okay, after that you have to give your guests like free time for walking around, taking nice photos, like 10-15 minutes because of the schedule, the time of the cruises. And from this direction to the museum for the mummified crocodiles. Okay, so this is the end of the guided tour for the stunning, the beautiful, the gorgeous temple of Ombo. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, you like it. Wait for another video for the high dam, temple of Philae, temple of Edfu. Okay, about like the most important parts of each place, like guiding tour as well. Okay, برضي أسألكم الدعاء للوالد بالرحمة والمغفرة ولجميع موتانا ومن رحلوا عنا. بارك الله فيكم وجزاكم الله خيرا، وبالتوفيق لجميع الأخوة والأخوات.